The fate of this chatter is safe.
Hey! Listen!
Bonger? Bonger, bonger, bong, 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 bong.
Hello, gang. How are you doing, chat? Feeling good? Looking good? Maybe we'll date or not? Probably not. I hope you're having a good time. Bare necessities from what? The Cough Drops song. Too short. How dare you? How dare you? Too short indeed. Ah, boy, oh boy, what a Monday. I have to very quickly double check and make sure I've got the game installed. I forgot to check last night. Alright, we're good, okay. Too cool. Too cool for you. Yeah, I'm reminding. Tomorrow's Monday as hell. What? Right. Okay. Yeah, right. Or if he was wearing the dino suit? I can't even see properly out of the dino suit's little visible air hole thing. And that's like the small.
Listen!
It's crazy. Today's Monday? I know today's Monday. He lives in the past. He's one of those past dweller kind of guys. He's like, oh, I'm so happy living in the past, man.
Pew, pew.
Hey! Listen!
He's just spending his points. Don't mind him. He's gone mad.
Pew, pew.
I'm being told that stuff on my Steam wishlist is on sale, but unfortunately, I do not have the means of stretching any of these. Our schedule is too booked. What's happening in the future? Monday will happen. Temperature will be kind of sort of okay. A little bit cool in the morning, a bit warm in the afternoon, and then cool again in the evening. Pretty comfortable otherwise. Little Timmy from the back of the class, he's going to pick up the 7 Infinity Stones. Don't go to school. He has no idea how to use them. There's a couple of things. We've got Monster Hunter. We've got Kazan. We've got AI Limit. We've got Night Rain. We've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We've got the Remnant games eventually when we get a chance to play the bloody Remnant games. There's a lot, man. We're kind of covered for the next 4 or 5 months at this rate. Any chance of funny Hitman? What funny Hitman? What is funny Hitman? Hitman games? Never played a Hitman game. When I was younger, they never like appealed to my sensibility. It's like, why would I want to play a Hitman game? I'd rather play the game where I run around and hack and slash dudes. Never touched them. Hitman, Splinter Cell, Lara Croft. There's a lot of like game franchisees or like things in general that I just never gravitated towards. To be fair, I didn't play a lot of Tomb Raider because it scared me when I was a kid. Squirrel with a gun. It's pretty close, to be honest. My stupid allergies, dude. Gotta take my bloody medication for it. My nose is all stuffy. I took a look, by the way. I was telling people yesterday about some YouTube folks. It was like Prod, one of these YouTube guys that I watch occasionally, who plays various Souls games, action games, sort of similar taste in games to me kind of thing. So I often gauge things that I'm not sure about based on his reception to them at times. He's been playing some Avowed, and while the game looks to have a lot of meme charm to it, I can see the cracks. I can see the issues. I can potentially see this being the kind of game you play for a single stream, and then by the time you get to the end of the stream, you might be bored. I don't know. Maybe he's just not leaving as much in as he could in the video, but I took a look at a few things for the game, and it's like I don't think this is it, man. Made Skyrim look ahead of its time. It's making Morrowind look ahead of its time in some of these cases, like at least Oblivion. If they'd released this game in 2004, it would have slapped. Wait, there's no romance either? I didn't know that. Damn. Damn. Dude, in Fable in 2004, you can steal things, and you can romance people, you can hit random NPCs, you can sacrifice people to an evil god. Man. You just walk up to something locked and hold a button and a bar fills up. Okay, so maybe people are just being harsh on it because what it really is like baby's first RPG. Is that what it's meant to be? A bit like how people give platformers a hard time sometimes, like mascot platformers, and it's like, well, yeah, it's not made for you, it's made for a new generation. Like Astrobot. A lot of people out there weren't too keen on Astrobot winning Game of the Year until it was pointed out to them that the reason why it's won Game of the Year is because of kids. Like, it's literally a whole new generation's Mario 64 kind of deal. Or if you go back a generation before that, it's their first Mario in general. Kids are going to grow up thinking that, you know, Astrobot was like the coolest shit back in the day because, you know, they played it when they were 10 and they fucking loved it. Maybe it's just like baby's first RPG. SNES Mario Kart was awesome. I played the SNES Mario Kart. I loved the hell out of that game. The battle mode where you had the balloons around you or whatever, and you had to pop them by shooting the shells at each other. It was fun. Learning how to hop the barriers. I'm gonna take a turn right here and whoop! I'm just gonna hop over these bricks and end up in the other lane. Don't mind me. Man, I've got so many emails for games. A lot of them I can't, like, do because they're not my thing. What's this? Right. Right, yeah, okay. Can't be some baby first. They got some great games like Ori, True, Pillars of Eternity. Don't think if Valve was supposed to be his first RPG, so they've been on for 10 years and claimed it would be a Skyrim killer. Did they actually claim that?
Now what's all this then?
What up, dude? The 35, you're a legend. So good they keep remaking it, exactly. Wait, they actually said it was meant to be a killer for Skyrim? Wild. The game seems to have gone through some metamorphoses over the years, which happens to quite a few games, it seems, recently. Like, didn't the same thing happen to Suicide Squad among, like, a couple of other projects where initially when it was revealed it looked like a completely different game to what we've eventually got? I remember seeing the initial teaser trailer for Avowed back in like 2020, 2021 or whatever it was, like what they first showed off, and it just looked like another game that was going to be not necessarily for me, but it looked like it was going to be a game for, you know, the guys who play Elder Scrolls games. And then when it's like coming out, it's like, this doesn't look like the same game. They overhauled the shit out of this. Digital Valium? Shit, dude. Only development for 6 years? Well, there you go. I still feel bad for situations like that. Imagine you work 6 years of your life, which is not an inconsequential amount of time. That's, you know, a big chunk out of your career portfolio. Working on a project that, you know, you're doing your best for. And
banishment.
It's effectively just like shit on, forgotten about, and that's it, because you released it around the same time that other much better titles come out. More of a story game? It can be more of a plot-based story game for sure, but I think a lot of people expected a lot more of the sandboxy RPG elements coming out of it. Especially, like, and it's not a fair comparison, but recently you've had things like Baldur's Gate come out, right? And that's kind of blown everyone's expectations into the stratosphere. And then Kingdom Come 2 comes out, and it's like, well, this also blows people's expectations into the stratosphere, because Kingdom Come is a very story-driven, plot-focused game with its narrative, but it's kind of like The Witcher as well. You know, you compare The Witcher, Kingdom Come, and all these games that have a very developed plot line with characters and relationships with these characters, and you're playing out, you know, effectively chapters of a book. You're playing out a plot line, but there's a lot of like side quests and side missions and sandboxy things and stuff to do and all this extra interaction that you can have with the world around you. And so I think people maybe have felt a bit lukewarm to the fact that They've made this big world that you can explore, and there's not really much you can do with it. What No Man's Sky did? What, you mean the comeback? Massive improvements over time? I mean, you could, in all honesty, if they supported the game for the next 2 or 3 years. Minimum. 2 or 3 years minimum. Put out some DLC, patch some stuff in, update some stuff. Be like, you can now hurt the NPCs. You can go to jail. We can do this. You can do that. You know, add a few little minor things people have been asking for. But expand upon the world and what you can do in it. Maybe. Maybe. Got bogged down in popular features and lost its way. Maybe, yeah. The Astral Ascent stuff is the... Thank you, dude. I'm aware that Astral is in the process of getting some very large updates. I just don't have a lot of time at the moment to check out some of the previous games and the updates they've had. I'm hoping to be able to. I've always jumped back to Astral Ascent for a lot of their major updates to try and take a look at what's coming out. Bar's been raised and people have higher expectations now. For better or for worse. You could say that the bar has been almost raised to an unassailable level because you've got passion projects like Kingdom Come, Boulders, Witcher 3, all that kind of stuff. Games that realistically are like bigger than they could be or should be. Like, look at Skyrim. Skyrim kind of set an expectation in and of itself that is hard to approach for a lot of studios these days. So much so that Elder Scrolls 6 is still not even remotely fucking close to coming out, and we were that was announced like 10 years ago. Like, what? Isn't Skyrim like 14 years old at this point or some shit? Skyrim was the worst one though. You could say it if you want, but it's still sold phenomenal. It performed phenomenal. The modding community is alive and well. That game is still alive today, and it's still remembered fondly by everyone who's played it, like within the community. You can say that amongst all of the Elder Scrolls games, it's the worst one of the Elder Scrolls games, but that's like saying that, you know, that's like saying that you know, having $1 million worth of rubies is not as good as having $1 million worth of diamonds. It's because rubies aren't as pretty as diamonds. It's like, it's still really good to have them. It's still better than all of its contemporaries. It's hard to quantify just how massively popular Skyrim got. I mean, personally, from just, you know, the gameplay and looking at it and that kind of stuff, I'd be more down for an Oblivion as opposed to a Skyrim. Oblivion's world kind of interests me a little bit more. Having said that, it is difficult to try and reach these heights. Then I had to finish games. Take Starfield as an example. I put a lot of blame on the whole Starfield situation for the fact that they refused to update their engine and actually like make a more advanced game. As soon as I heard that Starfield was made using the exact same engine that I think was used for Skyrim, it's like, bro, it's a 15-year-old engine. You're going to be limited in ways that you just cannot get around. The dialogue, the way that the game actually plays, the way that it works, it's stiff. When you go back and you play a game that's, you know, 15 years old or so, you can forgive some of the jank because you understand that it's a product of its time, you know? Like, when I go back and I play Fable that was released in 2004, I understand that there's going to be limitations in jank, but if I play the new Fable when it comes out and it has some of the same jank, and it's not in some sort of nostalgic, you know, tongue-in-cheek kind of way, it's going to feel worse. You haven't enjoyed a Bethesda game since Morrowind? Never played well, I've never played through like an Elder Scrolls game to begin with, but a lot of people speak very highly of Morrowind. It's funny because like progressively as time goes on, the Elder Scrolls games were like seen less and less good in the eyes of the fan base, but became like higher and higher selling and more popular amongst the casual fan base. So Morrowind, when I was younger, was kind of niche, and no one really like played those games. And then Oblivion comes out. And as far as I know, Oblivion was one of the first, if not, I think the only, like, first Elder Scrolls commercially available on an Xbox at the time, I think. I could be wrong, maybe Morrowind was there as well, but I think. And Oblivion, despite the fact that everyone said was worse than Morrowind, did very well. And then Skyrim comes out, and everyone's like, bro, this is worse than Oblivion. And yet, look where we are. Gamers vote with their wallets, man. Same with 6. I think maybe the fact that the game's been on like delayed and we haven't seen any coverage for 10 years might be because they've done a complete engine overhaul. It's possible that seeing how like Starfield was received might have scared the shit out of them. At least I hope. Never liked it yourself? I've never been a big fan of the way that those games seemingly play and behave, but that's just because I'm not a big Bethesda fan. You know, the Fallout games, the Elder Scrolls games, all of that stuff. It's just, it's not for me. Those are the kind of games that I'd rather, like, watch a video on than actually play. Like, playing through them seems like more of a slog than actually just digesting the story and being done with it. Knows how to feel fear. Maybe. What's Ask Cancer up to today? 9 days. We're gonna jump into 9 days. I was just recounting the fact that after yesterday's conversation, I did a little bit of digging and took a look at what's actually happening with the Avowed game and how unfortunate things are going, and then talking about the expectations that the games industry has fallen into with some of the mega releases like Baldur's Gate, Kingdom Come 2, Witcher 3, and how some of these games that have released in the last 10 years are so, like, monumentally big, like GTA 5 big, that you can't really compete with them. The leap from Lunacid was a reference to the game. The very first spell you can acquire if you go down a certain road and encounter the falling wizard from the sky. Yeah. There were a lot of references in that game, dude. What did I learn? I'm just looking at like how the game plays and like the gist of why people don't like it that much. Mostly because it's feature barren. Like it's a very linear start here, go here, do this, and like it's done. Which linearity isn't inherently a bad thing, but I think the linear nature of the game in the genre, like the subgenre that it's within, is the problem, you know? It'd be like releasing a Diablo-esque ARPG type game and there's no incentive to loot. Like, you don't change gear, you don't loot new items, you don't socket gems into things. It's that kind of thing, you know? It's like, it's anti-intuitive to what it is. To an extent. Wukong was a great game on release? Damn right. That's a good example of more linearity too. People didn't like the fact that Wukong was far more linear, and you kind of just do go from A to B. Like, you run through and you do this, and you pick a play style, you get weapons and armor, and you just kind of go through what you're doing. It's less open world exploration, like in Elden Ring and stuff like that. And people kind of expected that to be the case, and it wasn't. But having said that, the way that everything played out still felt cohesive enough, and it gave you enough. It gave me enough. Not everyone agrees on that, and that's fine. Feels bare bones. People are, yeah, people just don't like the lack of little things. So, like, you can't, there's no, I don't know, polish, I think is the word people are trying to get to when they talk about how it just lacks little varieties. Things like NPCs don't have the same interactions with each other. A big one that I saw on Twitter was that lockpicking is a non-event. You just hold the button to lockpick, and every other one of these games, lockpicking is always like one of the most tedious and difficult things to master and understand. You can't hurt NPCs, there's no guard interactions, so they don't come and arrest you if you do a bad thing, they don't help you if you're getting attacked. Little things like that. You can't explore the main towns and cities that you go to. Little things. The little things aren't there that help make a world feel lived in. And because those are lacking, the world kind of makes it feel more hollow. It claimed to be more than it delivered. I think I think disappointment is the main thing that's happened. If they sold themselves short from the beginning and said, we're just making a fun little RPG, and everyone went in going, yay, I'm going to play a fun little RPG, and that's exactly what it is. And it's like, oh, yay, I played a fun little RPG. No, they went in thinking, I'm going to play Fusroda, the sequel, finally. Dragonborn. All that shit, you know. Return to BG3. I want to go back to Baldur's. I really liked Baldur's Gate. Like, sincerely, it's the first one of those games I ever played. I've never played the other Baldur's Gates games, and I was never a big D&D guy. I had to learn D&D ruling while playing Baldur's Gate to kind of understand how the stats and scaling and all that kind of shit works, right? No. Good enough. I've said this before though, if I go back to Baldur's Gate, I'd have to start fresh. It's been, when did we last, because I last played Baldur's Gate on the old PC. We last played it on September 28, 2023. It's been a year and some change. It'll be more than a year and a half when we actually have time to potentially go back, right? So I've forgotten everything by that point. Was this song from Metal Unit? No, this is from Dungreed. This is the Frozen Time fight. This is the Ice Witch fight. So yeah, if I go back to it, I'd have to start fresh, and more so to the point, we'd have to run through a little bit quicker pace. So we played the game for, I shit you not, 86 hours with some change, and we didn't get out of chapter 1 because I was exploring everything. We went down and became the god of the fish people. We went and did the hag stuff. We did like everything that could be done in chapter 1. We did, and we did it at a snail's pace. We looted everything. We did everything. So if I go back to it, I'd have to do it at a more brisk pace and not fuck up my eyeball for a start. Does it come with change? Yes, 40 minutes change. Everything that wasn't nailed down. I had a plan. I've mentioned my plan. I had a plan for that, but I can't do it now. Some chests only use 1 while others use 3. Well, that's nothing. That's just gating you from getting into something. Plan? Yeah. I've mentioned my plan a couple of times already. So the plan was to loot every box, crate, chest, explosive barrel, all of the containers, right? I've mentioned this at least 3 times in the last 2 weeks. A lot of it in the Discord streams. I was going to loot every container possible, beat the game, and then the last thing that we would do before closing the game and going, well, what a great game. Love it. Not sure about that final fight though, but love it, right? Take all of the containers, find like a large chamber, like a castle keep or something, dump every single crate, box, barrel, an explosive container into one room and then throw a fireball and detonate the whole thing and have everything in this room explode at once and see if the game crashed. My PC might blow up instead, but you know, that kind of a deal. Like, could you imagine? I've scoured the entire game and taken every box, every crate, every chest, every barrel that I'm stocking in my stash back at the main camp, and all of it from the entire of Baldur's Gate 3 is stored into one space and then blown up ceremoniously. That was the plan. That's why we were joking about me being a boxmancer. It was going to be the apocalypse. I choked for a second there. The abocalypse would have been sick. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. We might get back to it at some point. I don't know. We need time, because Baldur's is going to take more time. So right now, as I've said, we've got like 5 months at least worth of stuff already locked down. I can confidently say I don't think we have that much planned for the end of the year at the moment. We've got like one game coming out near the end. Because right now we've got Monster Hunter coming out this weekend coming up. We've got Berserker Kazan after that. We've got AI Limit releasing on the same day as Berserker Kazan. We've got Night Rain coming out. We've got Kingdom Come 2 we've got to check out at some point. It's already well and truly out. We've got Remnant 1 and 2 that I've been promising to play for a long time now. The new Ninja Gaiden is coming out later this year, so we might want to try Black first. Rise of the Ronin, yes, true. Rise of the Ronin getting its PC release. The new Doom is coming out this year, that's a good point. That's 9, dude. I've got 9 things on my hand now. 10 if you include the fact that Remnant is 2 games. How far ahead do you plan your schedule? Fallen Feather. Wait, thank you. Fallen Feathers. I was trying to think of hang on. Fallen Feathers and Phantom Blade Zero are 2 that I've had my eyes on. Where's hang on. Thank you for reminding me about that. Thank you. Supposed release date is this year, but I don't know. So yeah, you've got Fallen Feathers and Phantom Blade Zero and a couple of other like more action-y games. There's so many, dude. There's so many. You found out about